さて
There you go, it's picking up now. KK. You, Kingzo, I don't like you, you weird groomer bitch ass Iwi. I hate you.
この旅のゲームはどう転ぶ
You
の
need to
か
die. Rar, rar,
委
rar.
ねるもよし抗うもよしいずれにせよわしに残されたわずかの命をトスに値する実に楽しい宴よ
In his dimly lit study, occasionally brightened by lighting, Kinzo kept mumbling and laughing to himself. On the antique clock with the intricate design that had been sitting on his desk, the two overlapping hands tilted to the right and began to slide. The measurement of time that counted up to 24 had returned to 0 and began to count back again. What's my favorite color? Yellow and then pink.
時の刻みとは残酷なものよ 24を数え
Like a
るため
pastel
に1
yellow.
日をかけてたどり着き
Very pleasant
そ
to
して
me.
再
But I also love
びゼロ
pink.
に戻る
Those are my two favorite colors. Like, this is a very pretty yellow. I like that. Very pleasing
23
to
時
me.
59分までは確かに
What's
数
your
え
favorite
ただろう
color? I'm gonna be honest, I did not read this. I was just kind of clicking it. On the antique clock with the intricate design of it sitting on his desk, two overlapping hands. The measurement time that counted 24 turned to 0. Measuring time is a brutal thing, drawing itself all the way. The hell?
しかし24時にたどり着くことは
Number.
で
Oh,
きたのだ
damn,
ろ
you're
う
all.
か
You already know. What is that? Discord color or something? Or is that like the some official color with the numbers and stuff? It's like a crimson red. That's pretty though. Pretty, pretty.
たどり着けず再び0時に戻ったと考えればそれはなんとも虚しいことよ
He's lamenting over a clock. A hex code. Oh, okay. Fuck if I don't know what hex code I like the best. But perhaps a person's life is the same. You live aiming for a perfect 24, and the instant you reach it, you return to 0. People will probably praise the departed, saying that he did reach 24, but he most certainly did not. In the end, he's a 0.
わしは違うぞわしは生きて24にたどり着く
No, you won't. Fuck you, Kinzo.
そここそが黄金鏡ベアトリーチェの住処なのだから
Kinzo had been fumbling around with some tarot cards for some time. It looked as though he was trying to divine his own luck with a contest, doing it over every time he didn't like the result. The most forbidden action in tarot reading is trying to predict the same thing twice. To do so ridicules the results of fortune telling, and also desecrates those beings higher than humans that give revelations through the tarot cards. However, Kinzo knew tarot cards shouldn't be used twice because since they're nothing more than random number generator, reading them twice will naturally cause a different result to appear. Therefore, reading them twice was only forbidden to preserve the mystique of the tarot card's results. However, that didn't mean that Kinzo didn't take tarot reading seriously. Kinzo's interpretation of tarot reading was done in a completely different way. That was to repeat the reading over and over without giving up in the slightest until he reached the most favorable to him. The mark he set for this most favorable result would vary, but when he demanded the most favorable result in a strictly literal sense, it was the same as a sorry about that. As a simple roulette of luck, where he seeked an arithmetic miracle. However, Kinzo used miracles of numbers as the basis of his magical power, so this functioned perfectly well as a magical ritual. I don't like Kinzo. I don't like reading about him. In other words, until the result he desired appeared perfectly, he would strive to repeat the tarot readings over and over with conviction, turning feelings of his hearts into prayers, so that when they reached the heavens, they would be sublimated into the results. That was Kizo's personal magic interpretation. Pardon me. Therefore, even though Kinzo's tarot cards were no different from those generally used, the way in which they were used was completely different.
今宵は思い通りにならぬな。
Kinzo stopped his hands for a second. He seemed not to be getting the results he wanted. On the contrary, bad cards that shouldn't show up so often appeared repeatedly, and continued to interfere with the miracle Kinzo wished for.
そういうことなのか。
Kinzo seemed to have received some revelation that was different from normal. But, judging by the unlucky cards scattered across his desk, it was difficult to imagine that the omen had been a good one. For a while, Kinzo closed his eyes tightly, pondering something. Then, as thunder roared, he made up his mind about something, took the telephone receiver, and dialed.
わしだ。源氏はおるか。至急だ。
In front of the entrance hall, Shannon's once burning face had been cooled off by the frigid air. She had thought that George's proposal would surely come sooner or later. It wasn't as though she hadn't prepared herself mentally, and she had answered by nodding. Had she been reckless because of her youth? Should she have thought about her future more seriously? I wonder if my immediate reply made him think I'm a cheap girl. If I'd at least waited until tomorrow morning, would that at least have shown him I was taking this seriously? Now that she'd already received the ring from George, Shannon kept fidgeting in embarrassment. I should have done this, I should have done that. As she did, she heard the sound of footsteps splashing through puddles. Shannon immediately chased away the emotions welling up inside her.
源氏様、カノン君も。すみません。すぐに戻らなくて、
She grew stiff, thinking she'd surely be scolded for spending too much time in her secret lover's meeting with George.
シャン、親方様が至急書斎へ来るようにとの仰せ。急ぐ。
え？はい、かしこま。一体何事なの？
不吉な予感がするってさ。
Dude, 7-Up tastes like Fruit Loops, like for real.
自分で儀式を起こしておいて都合のいい話さ。
Period, Cannon. I hate him too.
大田に気取られぬよう裏から入る。
Yeah, it does. This is the second time I've had 7-Up recently, and it tastes like Fruit Loops, I swear. Try it again. Try it again. They might have changed their formula. If you haven't tried it recently, try it again. And see if you agree or not. Oh!
足音に気をつけろ。
Food related, something that I thought of. Do you like cottage cheese, first of all? That's the first question. Because not everyone likes it. I love cottage cheese, but not everyone does. Do you like it? First question.
はい。姉さん、注意して
In moderation? Okay, yeah, but like just in general, like, yeah. Okay, you gotta try cottage cheese and barbecue Lay's chips. It is so good. Like, the sweetness of the barbecue from the Lay's and like the crunchiness of it to go with the softness of the it's so amazing. It is so good. You gotta try it if you like cottage cheese. And tell me if you like it. Cannon was especially good at hiding his footsteps, just like a cat, meow meow meow. He was able to suddenly be there without anyone noticing and leave in the same way. It is so good. You gotta try it. Anyone listening, you gotta try that. If you like cottage, I mean, obviously, if you don't like cottage cheese, don't try it. But if you do, you gotta. Yes, exactly. Food's so good. I'm such a chowderkin. What can I say? He was able to suddenly be there without anyone noticing and leave in the same. Oh, I already read that. Whoopsie. For example, even though he stepped in puddles, the sound he made was far smaller than that of the rain hitting them. Genji almost had the abilities of that kind. Or rather, those servants called furniture were supposed to be like that. Just like how desks and closets go unnoticed by members of the family, these servants also held it as a great virtue to just suddenly be there whenever they were needed. Compared to that, Shannon's footsteps still strongly asserted themselves. She was also trying to hide her footsteps, but compared to Kanon and Genji, well, you could say she was a little more boisterous. Eventually, they reached the back door, and the three of them entered the mansion. Immediately, they thought they felt something. It was different from a sense of smell, and it seemed to hit the depths of their noses. This hard to describe sensation, which you might call a sixth sense, allowed them to perceive something that was different than usual.
源氏様
Is it
急ぐぞ。
Beatrice? The sensation made it feel as though a tense something was pressing in around them. Realizing that, the three of them dashed up the stairs, heading for Kinzo's study while hiding their footsteps. When they dashed up the stairs, the smell of that sweet poison particular to Kinzo's study reached their noses.
いかがなさいましたか、源氏様。
結界が死んでいる。
After hearing Kanon's words, she looked at the door to the study. A scorpion pattern was engraved on the doorknob, a powerful ward against magic. The final barrier which protected Kinzo himself, it had been broken. Of course, there was no change to the doorknob that the eye could see. However, those who could understand things people couldn't perceive were able to recognize that a dramatic change had occurred.
親方様、親方様、源氏でございます。ここをお開けください。
Genji called in this way after knocking several times, but there was no answer from the study.
シャノン、背中を守れ。カノン、室内を探れ。
はい。
Kanon put his ear against the door, searching for a presence inside the study. To protect the backs of the pair watching the door, Shannon faced the other way, ready for the unexpected.
親方様はいらっしゃられるはずです。ですが、静かすぎます。
ご無事だということか。
いいえ、静かがすぎます。
まさか、そんな。
親方様、扉を失礼させていただきます。
Andy pulled a gold key out of his pocket. It was the only key to the study that existed, other than the one Kinzo held. He stuck it in the keyhole and turned it heavily. At first glance, that seemed to prove that it was a sturdy lock. However, now that the barrier had been destroyed, the door might as well have been left open from the viewpoint of anyone with magical power. The heavy sound just now meant that the door had now been open even for
失礼いた
humans.
します。
As Genji respectfully bowed his head, and Kanon's sense of tension grew tighter, and Shannon trembled, they entered the study. They immediately discovered Kinzo's figure. He was sitting on the reception sofa so that his back faced them. Genji noticed the person sitting across from him and again bowed deeply. Kanon also noticed that person. It's probably Beatrice. But he didn't bow his head. Damn right, he stood in front of Shannon and spread out his arms, blocking the way to her. So that even seeing the person's face, Shannon already had a good idea who it was.
お越しでございましたか、ベアトリーチェ様。
源氏か。なかなかに早いな。やはり家具は主の呼びかけに素早く応える方が良い。 こやつとは大違いだ。
ロノエ様もお越しでしたか。
Genji directed his greeting towards the thin darkness and to the right of Beatrice, where there shouldn't have been anything. Even Canon Shannon would never have imagined that someone was there. However, the darkness responded immediately and praised Genji's eyesight.
相変わらずさすがです。だいぶの久しぶりになりますね。それにしても老けましたね。それだけの弱いを重ねましたか。充実した日々を過ごしております。ロノエ様におかれましてもますます充実されておりますようお見受けいたします。ええ、おかげさまです。そしてシャノンも久しぶりですね。君は随分と美しくなった。そして随分と強くなったようですね。良いことです。
ありがとうございます。
姉さん、あいつは一体。
カノン君とは会うのは初めてになりますね。私はベアトリーチェ様の家具頭を任されております。源氏さんの古い馴染みですよ。あなたと同じに私も家具です。使える主は異なりますが。
The tense color didn't disappear from Canon's face in the slightest. Depending on the master's furniture served, they might be kind of brutal or anything else. This person claimed to be furniture serving the hated Beatrice, and he must be despicable as well.
わらわもすっかり嫌われたものだ。坊主憎ければ今朝までなんとかとはよく言ったものよ。
Beatrice openly sneered at Canon's hate-filled face. Then Canon finally realized. Beatrice and Ginzo were having a chess game across the reception table. You just realize that when it's like right in front of you. But Ginzo hadn't even quivered. Ooh. He was holding his head with both hands, his eyes closed tight as he contemplated his next move. Or was he in anguish?
親方様。
わらわが金蔵に伝えたのは2つ。良い知らせと悪い知らせだった。良い知らせは、儀式を終えずしてわらわと再会できる幸運を得たこと。悪い知らせは、金蔵が儀式の一番最初の生贄に選ばれてしまったこと。
Woo! Let's fucking go. Hell yeah, Beatrice.
こればかりはわらわにもどうしようもない。実に気まぐれにルーレットにて決めたのだから。
嘘つけ。もて遊んで殺しているくせに。
よして、カノン君。
さて、金蔵。
Okay, enjoy your breakfast.
そろそろ負けを認める気になったのかこれにて、わらわとの長きにわたる勝負は決着だな。
At a glance, it was hard to make out the situation on that chaotic chessboard. However, judging by Kinza's anguish and Beatrice's malicious confidence, it seemed to be over already.
是非もなし。これもまた一興か。
わらわもだ。そなたとの勝負に決着がつくことは万感の思いあれど、もはや恩衆を超える。楽しかったぞ。退屈しない数十年であった。
Beatrice advanced her queen and made her final move, and that decided it.
チェックメイト。これがわらわからそなたへの手向けだ。心置きなく眠れ。
Ew, he's so creepy. Ew, ew, ew. What the hell? Enzo suddenly stood up and laughed like an opera singer facing a full crowd, spreading his arms, as though he had succeeded in a century-long plan. What the fuck? Holy shit. That laugh. That crimson. Crimson flames poured out from inside of him, spitting even out of his mouth, ears, and nose, and all at once his body was wrapped in hellfire. Good. Fuck you, groomer. But Kinzo kept laughing. The more he laughed, the more hellfire spewed from his entire body and began to char him. Those flames became a brilliant light, which dazzling shone on the various magic tools through the room, making their distorted shadows dance across the walls. The shadows looked like dead in hell, watching over Kinzo in ecstasy as he burned. And the one who had made a contract with the witch, it was an extremely fitting end. Oh, for one, sorry. In accordance with those terms. After laughing and howling in the roaring flames for some time, Kinzo flopped to the ground as though he was a puppet whose strings had been cut. Those incredible blazing flames disappeared as though he'd been completely burned up, and afterwards nothing remained but a festering and burnt corpse that one could hardly bear to look at.
むごい。
お前が言うか。ふさわしい死に方だと思っているくせに。
なぜお前が姿を現している？僕たちに何か用だとでも言うのか？
よしてカノン君、ベアトリーチェ様を挑発してはダメ。
すっかり怯えさせてしまいましたね。
わらわはつくづくカノンとは仲良くなれぬようだ。そう嫌いでもないというのにね。
Beatrice grinned. Cannon violently averted his gaze, obviously unhappy. His reaction was so different from what he wanted to do that it made the witch and her butler laugh.
カノン、ベアトリーチェ様の御前であるぞ。
Oh, shut the fuck up, Genji.
言葉遣いに気をつけなさい。
ああ、構わぬぞ、源氏。好きに言わせてやれ。わらわは寛大である。
何が寛大だ。
わらわは死にゆく者にはいつだって寛大である。
Cannon was taken aback by that creepy laughter. Beatrice wasn't just here to take Kinzo's life. The first twilight required 6 sacrifices. So alone wasn't nearly enough. No, don't kill Cannon. I want him and Jessica to be together. Sorry. And they just casually walked in here.
安心せよ、カノン。そなたらがここに訪れたから生贄に選ばれるのではない。生贄に選ばれているからこそ、ここに呼ばれているんじゃないか。
なんだと。
Their instincts were good enough to spot her meaning instantly. 6 sacrifices were required for the first twilight. After Kinzo, how many more would you need to add up to 6? In this mansion, the number of 5 instantly made them think of the number of servants here.
それがお望みですか。
感謝せよ、家具どもよ。そなたたちの苦難の日々は今宵ようやく終わりを迎えた。それを告げに訪れたわらわに感謝せよ。
かしこまりました。それをお望みでしたら。
源氏様。
Genji had already agreed to the witch's heartless announcement with his usual demeanor without raising an eyebrow.
親方様亡き後はベアトリーチェ様が我らの主。 その求めに応じるのが我らの最後の務めだ。社のかの今日までよく仕えたその労苦もこれにて終わり。
源氏はさすがです。同じ家具としてあなたを誇りに思いますよ。
社の異論はないか。
はい。
What?
ジョージ様から指輪を贈られたそうだな。
Yeah, why isn't she fighting back?
それでもなお
I don't understand
Milan will
Shannon
like-
sometimes. She kind of pisses me off sometimes. Like, I like her, but it's like, why you look all prideful like that? Like,
はい。家具の身に過ぎた幸福でした。指輪を頂戴しただけで私の思いはすでに達せられております。
that's, like, that's so you're not even thinking about how George is gonna feel, though. That's really fucked up that you just did it so that you were satisfied enough for your feelings before you died. And you didn't even think about how that could affect someone else. Like, what about George? Like, I hate George, but I don't think it's still fucked up for you to do that. Shannon can take quite as much of a philosophical view as Genji. There probably were regrets left in her heart. She probably wanted to spend a little more warm time with the person she cared for, George. But she released herself from that. She took a single deep breath and a blank expression rose to her
それ
face.
でよい。
シャノンがそこまでの落ち着きを得るとは少し驚きでした。あなたも家具として達観したようですね。
惚れた男と夜も共にできず、少しは悔し涙をこぼさんのか。退屈な女よ。
ベアトリーチェ様ごときにこの気持ちはわかりません。私たちの命をご所望でしたら私たちは慎んでそのお務めを
Shannon, you're
全うし
being
ます。
lame. Why are you doing this?
それでよくぞ言ったな。
ベアトリーチェ様の苦手なタイプのようで。
最近こやつめはだいぶ達観しよった。どうも前回いじめすぎたようだ。それを言ったらバトラもか。わらわはまだぬるいのか、それとも追い詰め方が下手なのか。いずれにせよ面白みのないやつよ。しかしお前はまだわらわを楽しませてくれそうだよな、カノン。
カノン君。
Compared to the two who had taken a far-sighted approach, there was a painful anguish in Ganon's face. Ganon was still far too young to accept his demise after being told it by a suddenly appearing witch.
カノン、わらわは退屈を何より、そしてお前を除く二人が素直に死を受け入れるもので、だからそなたにはわらわの期待を裏切らないでもらいたいものだ。
僕を慰み者にしようというのか。
Ganon realized that he was being provoked. However, no matter how furiously anger spurred him on, his opponent was a witch. He was furniture. He hadn't a chance of victory from the beginning. But the witch was expecting that he'd struggle in vain and writhe around, and was even looking forward to it. Just thinking about that was frustrating enough to get his blood boiling. Was disappointing the witch and by refusing to resist like the other two the only way he could strike back at her?
煉獄の七姉妹が長女ルシフ、いでよ。傲慢のルシファー、ここに。カノン、家具に魔女と戦えというのも酷な。そなたがいくら怒りに駆られようとも、勝算のない戦いでは希望も持てまい。無論勝ち目のない戦いではわらわも退屈というもの。
Aw, thank you for following. Is that Sylvia or am I mistaken? Is that someone else? It is. Hi. Thank you for following. I hope you're doing well.
ならば家具は家具。
That's okay. Yeah, I thought you were too. I remembered you having, but that's okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, good. Maybe we can play Danganronpa on Thursday. That'll be fun. I miss you guys. But if not, that's okay too, you know.
家具同士で決着をつけてはどうか。それならば勝てる希望も持てるであろう。
Oh, Sylvia, I have to invite you to the Discord.
恐れながらベアトリーチェ様、私がそのような出来損ないの家具に劣るようなことがありましょうか？こんな可愛い子に私が万一にも負けるようなことなど。
It has all the emotes, but it's because I was thinking about it because I posted in the media tab in it. I made a chowder hat, like I crocheted it myself, and I wanted to show you. I think there's a link underneath on my Twitch if you want to join from that. You're beautiful.
我が家具煉獄
That's
の
a
七
fact,
杭を
though.
打ち破ってみせよ。
That's a motherfucking fact that
見
Sylvia's
事打ち破っ
beautiful.
てみせたなら。
Oh, stop.
そうだな。13人の生贄を逃れることのできる5人をそなたに自由に決めさせてやろう。
Oh, pick Jessica, your love. Motherfucking fact.
そなたの推薦する5人をわらわは無条件にて
Oh, my
黄
angel.
金鏡に迎え入れる。それならばどうか。
Canon understood that he was being provoked. However, the witch's offer was very tempting. Okay, so Sylvia, just so you know, this is Canon. He's an edgelord, and him and Jessica have like a really angsty, almost relationship, and I really want them together. So I want him to be like, I need to save Jessica. If Jessica's not alive, there's no point in living, kind of thing. Like. On the contrary, he looks like a cute girl. He does, he does. On the contrary, it was much more important that he remain alive so that he could be invited to the Golden Land and have his wish granted by Beatrice there.
そなたは家具は嫌だと泣いたな。そなたの望み、枕を濡らしてまで望んだ人間の体を与えてやろうぞ。どうだ？そうすればジェシカとも結ばれるぞ。おお、ちょうどよい。黄金鏡へ招ける5人にジェシカとそなたを推薦すればよい。自分だけが幸せになることに抵抗があるならば、さらにシャノンとその思い人であるジョージを加えればよい。義理があるならばさらに源氏も加えればよい。おお、これで5人だ。十分ではないか。これだけのご褒美があれば、そなたはわらわを退屈させはしないよな。
どうせ戯れよ。耳を貸す必要はない。
僕は嫌だ。姉さんはそれでいいの？
Beatrice couldn't hide her evil smile at those words.
僕は嫌だ。幸せになりたい。家具なんてもう嫌だ。人間になって普通の恋がしたい。僕も姉さんのように海が青いってことを知りたいんだ。
若いですね。羨ましい。
だから若者は好きなのだ。源氏、シャノンは下がれ。カノン、ルシファーは前へ。
仰せのままに。
Lucifer's so hot.
気に入らないわ。ベアトリーチェ様は無理でも私にだったら勝てるかもしれないという見下しが最高に気に入らないわ。
That was probably humiliating for Lucifer. But at the same time, she's also happy that she was lucky enough to have this adorable prey all to herself.
来い魔女の家具
Cannon, don't die! I want you to take Jessica! OMG. Cannon.
バトラー楽しい見せ物の時間であるぞ
Okay, and also, so Battler doesn't even believe in magic and witches. So like, and you know all this stuff's going on that's like all magical and witchy and stuff. And so he's probably, I can't even imagine what he's gonna say.
くそまたおかしなことになりやがった魔法バトルなんて認めてたまるかよ
ほらほら目をつむらずにちゃんと見ろよほらほらほらほら魔法だよ家具だよそなたがどんなにわらわや魔法の存在を否定しようともほらほらほらほらほらほらこうして目の前でブオンブオンカキンカキンやられちゃ台無しだよなほらほらほらほら
ほらほらほらほらほら
もう思考なんて止めちまえよ魔法はあるんだってこれはファンタジーなんだって目を閉じるなよしっかり見ろよほらほらほらほらほら
ほらほらほらほら
畜生
畜生畜生畜生畜生
魔女を認めない
畜生畜生
魔女を認めない
ほらほら畜生
でもこんなにあからさまにやられちまったらなんだっていやいいんだクソクソクソクソ
ほら目を背けるなよしっかり見ろよ魔法はあるんだよファンタジーなんだよ推理ごっことかやめちまえよ知ってんだよものを考えんの本当は苦手なんだろうやめちまえやめちまえほらほらどうせファンタジーどうせファンタジー
うるせえうるせえうるせえ俺に話しかけるんじゃね
こいつ意地になっちゃって私になら勝てるなんて思い上がりをしたことを今すぐ床に這いつくばって謝ってごらんなさいそうしたら特別に許してあげてもいいわよ生きながら生皮を剥がして絶命するまで全身を鞭打ってのたうち回らすのを特別に許してあげてもいいわよ可愛い子なんだから謝っちゃいなさいよ
ごめんな
そう
さい
したらあなただけは最高に素敵な気分の中で優しく優しく行かせてあげる
黙れ魔女の家具お前と問答するつもりはない
私なんか眼中にないというのね気に入らないわイフを本当に気に入らないわ
カノン君
あやつサタンの時よりも筋がいいではないか
だから人間は恐ろしいのです。たまに魔女にまでなり。
He called him a human, not furniture.
わらわはどちらを応援すればよいというのか。
こいつ私と互角に渡り合うというの？僕を見くびるな。お前にそのおごりがある限り僕には決して勝てない。私がこの煉獄の七姉妹が長女ルシファーを指して決してこんな思い上がりが。
Hannah was desperately trying to stay alive and he had a strong desire to become human, but Lucifer didn't feel anything stronger than a slight desire to play, so that led to an inevitable result. It was a result that could be reached by the power of humans, the power of the heart.
これまでだ。お前は僕に決して勝てない。
The glowing red curve extended straight out from Cannon's arm, pointing at Lucifer's throat, just beneath the tip of her chin.
何よこれ。この私がこんなの何かの間違いよ。
As she ground her teeth in irritation, she tried to deny the truth right before her eyes, but no matter how much she believed in her own superiority, it didn't change the facts right in front of her.
ほう、やるなカノン。見事だ。わらわを退屈させなかった。それに比べわらわの家具のなんと情けないことか。
ルシファー、お嬢様を退屈させていますよ。やはりあなたには荷が勝ちすぎた相手でしたか。
失望するぞ、七食いの長女。
It would have seemed like a mere rebuke to an outsider. However, furniture serving the witch knew what kind of severe treatment was promised by that rebuke, and understood what had been left unsaid.
この出来損ない家具が。
She howled. Abandoning her last bit of pride, she made her body explode, exposing her true form. That form was a demon stake which bounced off the walls surrounding the room.
よくも私にここまで恥をかかせたな。殺す殺す殺す殺せ。このぬるまが私の姿をもはや追うこともできないくせに。もう遊ばないよ。本気で怒ったわよ。お前ぶっすりざっくり貫いて真っ赤な血の噴水を天井にまで届かせてやる。死ねー。カノン君。
After flying about wildly for some time, with a speed approaching the limits of what the human eye could follow, Lucifer flew at Cannon's heart. She could tell that it was Cannon's body by the sweet taste of it, but she quickly noticed one thing. She hadn't pierced his heart.
これだから人間は恐ろしい。紅茶はいかがですかな。
今はよい。紅茶もいらぬほどに面白い。
カノン君。
おごったな。だからお前は僕に勝てないんだ。
The floor was stained with dripping blood. It really was Cannon's blood. But it wasn't flowing out of his chest. Cannon had sacrificed his own left hand to protect his heart. Smart. Lucifer was arrogant, even though she'd been given enough time to realize that this was an opponent capable of cornering her. In her pride, she had believed him to be worthless. She had gotten careless. So just as she had announced, she had aimed for his chest, trying to pierce his heart. Because she was arrogant, she hadn't thought of aiming for somewhere other than the place she had announced. Now, maybe she had thought about it a little. However, her pride would not allow her to aim for a different spot. After all, she was Lucifer of pride. Cannon, withstanding the pain, grasped the demon stake sticking deep into his left hand strongly with his right hand and pulled it out. When she heard the sound of breaking bones and even more blood dripping down, Shannon looked away reflexively. Pussy. There was an air hole in the back of the pierced hand so big you could see clearly through the other side. Cannon's face was filled with pain, but right now, he had won without a doubt. The demon stake he was gripping with his right hand turned back into loose fur again. So that Cannon, so that Cannon was now gripping exactly where her neck was. Cannon didn't hold back at all with the hand gripping Lucifer's throat. She had challenged him again after their fight had already been decided. Cannon had no obligation to be considerate. But even so, Cannon released the witch's furniture. Was it his naive humanism, his pity for another furniture, or a final bit of respect to the witch? In any case, she was released. Lucifer fell face down on the ground, retching and moaning over the pain in her throat.
お見事ですよ、カノン。あなたの奮闘により、金蔵の研究の正しさが一つ実証されました。
Ronove was clapping his hands. To Cannon, who had won at great cost and had a wound on his left hand that wouldn't close, Ronove's applause only felt like mockery.
人の心はあらゆる可能性を秘める。いやはやこれだから人間は恐ろしい。あっぱれであるぞ、カノン。そなたは勝利した。見事だ。
大丈夫？カノン君。
Shannon ran up to him and wrapped a handkerchief around his left hand, which was still spraying blood.
見事であるぞ、カノン。実に見事である。わらわも少しは番狂わせを期待した。それを裏切らぬとは、そなたは誠に素晴らしき家具であるぞ。見直した。正直見直したぞ。
約束をベアトリーチェ。
もちろん忘れてはおらぬぞ。魔女も悪魔もだがしかし契約に限っては人間など及ばぬほどに高潔だ。わらわは保護にはせぬ。そなたが勝利した13人の生贄を逃れることができる5人を自由に決める権利を。
ベアトリ、私はまだ破れたわけでは。
When Beatrice waved her pipe, heaven and earth turned over for just Lucifer. So as horribly natural result, she fell onto the ceiling. The ceiling doesn't seem that high to people standing on the floor. However, people who fall on it upside down head first usually don't agree.
お嬢様、さすがにやりすぎでは。
それもそうである。許してやるか。
Beatrice waved her pipe again. When she did, the magic that had been affecting Lucifer's release. So, as a horribly natural result, this time she fell back properly onto the floor.
Beatrice 様、お許しを。
何を怯えて。わらはもはや許したぞ。さてカノン、続けようではないか。
何をだ、まさか彼女にと。
ああ、まだ終わっちゃいないだろう。
何をだ、はぐらかすな。
わらわは確かにわらわの家具煉獄の七杭を打ち破ったならとっさあさおいでなさい。不甲斐なき長女の6人の妹たち。
Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Oh my god. I love seeing all of them. The air split with shrill laughter, and as golden splash scattered about, the remaining 6 sisters of Purgatory showed themselves. All the 7 sisters of Purgatory were here, after Kanon was able to defeat one only by sacrificing his left arm. By now, Kanon regretted his thoughtlessness in accepting the witch's challenge. He had been foolish to assume that a game against a witch would be on even footing.
ですお姉様、どうして床に這いつくばってるの？お前たちだからお姉様はダメなのよ。長女を偉そうに名乗るくせに上っ面だけなのよ。まったくルシファーお姉様一人の集体が私たちへの評価を下げるのよ。恥を知りなさいな、この未熟者が。カロンくん、すごいすごい。でもいい気にならないことよ。ルシファーお姉様なんて威張ってるだけで姉妹の子じゃ大したことないんだから。だからルシファー姉は何もしなくていいといつも言っている。お姉様は威張ってだけいればいい。荒事はすべて優秀な私たちで片付けるのだから。お姉様、どうする？私たちはお姉様のプライドを尊重し、そのボロボロの体で再び挑むのを期待して手出しをしないつもりなんだけれど。でもカノン君は強いわよね。今のお姉様じゃもうどうあがいても勝ち目はないわよね。お前たち
やれやれ、いつも賑やかな姉妹たちであるな。今は仲違いをしている場合か。そなたらは7人揃ってこその煉獄の7姉妹であろうが、仲良くしてわらわの仕事を遂行迅速にね。
ねえルシファーお姉様、私たち妹の力が借りたいなら言ってよ。お姉様の口から助けを求める言葉が聞きたいの。私はこれ以上苦労する気か。愚かでひ弱で見苦しくて情けないこの長女のルシファーをどうか妹の皆様お助けくださいってねえ聞かせてよ。それを聞かせてくれたら助けてあげる。それでいいわよね、みんな。お前たちおのれ。
The 7 sisters of Purgatory unanimously closed in on their worthless sister, abusing her. Even Kanon, who had been fighting for his life until a second ago, couldn't bear to look at it.
私がそのようなことを口にできるものか。
早くせよ。どうせお前一人では拉致が開かぬわ。早く7姉妹にてカノンを撃て。
そら、どうしましたかルシュ。お嬢様の命令ですよ。
ひどい。
After grinding her teeth over and over after hearing her sister's curses, Lucifer trembled all over and answered her sister's request.
ひ弱で見苦しくて情けない。情けないこの長女ルシファーとか。
The girl known as Pride was finally unable to endure the word she was saying and broke down crying. However, the 6 younger sisters kept giggling cold-heartedly.
もう十分だろう。さあ姉妹たち、我らの力を見せてやろう。私は全部聞かなきゃ満足しないわよ。ほらほらお姉様、続けてよ。もう十分よ。さあ、この屈辱は姉妹全員の屈辱。生かして返しはしないわよ。さて、哀れな家具をどのように遊んでやろうかしら。素敵な提案はある？
ベルゼは仲良く7人でカノン君を分けっこしたらいいと思います。
良い提案だな。それでなら姉妹でみんな仲良しだ。なら私頭部ね。手足はあんたらにあげるわ。やだやだ、私が頭なの。
I remember seeing this before.
そんな約束意味があるわけないでしょ。早い者勝ちに決まってるわ。
どんな殺され方がいいかカノン君の提案があったら教えてね。7姉妹でとびっきりの殺し方をしてあげる。
ここまで恥をかかせたの。八つ咲きでも足りない。百咲きにしてくれる。行くよお前たち。
はい、お姉様。
The seven of them burst at once. They had no intention of playing or boasting. This time they would genuinely follow their master's order. Take Cannon down swiftly. Seven sisters jumped around the room faster than the eye could see, examining how they could best kill Cannon. They tortured Cannon with their cruel giggles, sometimes making a close pass at him. They kept scraping his arms, shoulders, and cheeks, gradually carving red letters into his body. At that moment, Shannon dashed up behind him, holding onto him so that she blocked the way to his body at least a little. At the same time, a red cylinder wrapped around the two of them, like a beam of light sent from heaven. The cylinder repelled the evil ones who tormented Cannon.
何？ずるい。あんたは関係ないでしょ。
きっとこれはあれよ。私たちと一緒に遊びたいのよ。
なら私がもらうわ。いっただき。ベアトリーチェ様、シャノンを私たちの獲物にしても？
ああ、構わんぞ。好きにしろ。お前たちの悪時期にはカノン一人では足らなかろうしな。
ありがたき幸せ。さあ、しゃしゃり出てきたことを後悔させてやろう。
どっちがどっちかわからないくらいの肉片にして混ぜてミンチにしてハンバーグにしてあげる。
バカね。それよりあの結界を破る方が先でしょうが。食い意地より先に仕事しなさい。
はい、お姉さん。
As horribly natural first action, the seven sisters began to destroy the barrier Shannon had created. Shannon's barrier certainly was strong. It was powerful enough to impress even Beatrice. With its strength, frail furniture would turn to dust just by touching it, and it was firm like a tree with deep roots. But no matter how big a tree gets, it will eventually surrender to a saw or a hatchet. For the seven sisters, chopping down Shannon's barrier would be annoying but not impossible. A sound like beetles jumping about grew even fiercer and filled the room. The red barrier began to be cut up and eroded away as though with an hatchet. A saw, no, a chainsaw by now.
君の結界ではその子たちを防ぎきれないことは知っていたでしょうに、なぜ？
見過ごせないからです。
As Shannon covered Cannon, who was already at his limit, sprawled on the floor, she spoke back resolutely.
シャシャリでなければ眠るような死を与えてやったのに、なぜわざわざ七姉妹の前に身をさらすのか。死は同じではないぞ、苛烈な死は。死してなお苛む。
Sorry, I had to pick something up.
お好きなように、あなたがしたいことを好きにするように、私もしたいことを。
どうにもそなたはこのところ面白みに欠けるな。恋というやつは達するかどうかのあたりが一番面白い。達してしまった後の女はさながら産卵を終えた鮭のごとしか。そなたにはもう飽きた。
ありがとう。魔女から聞ける言葉で最も嬉しい言葉です。
ならせめて最後にわらは思いっきり喜ばせる死に方をしてみせろよ。七姉妹を聞こえたな。シャノンの殺し方、お前たちの残虐の限りを見せてみよ。
シャノン、
申し訳ございません。やはり私には源氏様の高みには至れませんでした。
姉さんはバカだ。僕なんか放っておけば姉さんまでひどい目に遭うことは。
いいの。ジョージ様に指輪をもらって女として生きられたあなたをかばって、私の生はすべてこれで未練なく全うした。
イライラするぜ。その達観が本当にイラつくぜ。だから家具なんだよ。お前わらわを見ろよ。家具のくせにわらわよりも完成されたかのような、達観したかのようなことを言うんじゃねえ。
醜い。その未練があなたの正体なの。
未練じゃねえ。それが生きるってもんだ。指輪もらったから死んでもいいとか。理解できねえ。さっぱりがっかり愕然呆然、全然ダメだぜ。
お嬢様、少し品がないかと。
うるさいわ家具が。シャノン、楽に死なせてもらえると思うなよ。舌を噛むなら今のうちだ。
哀れね。もしも私の目にあなたのその姿が映って、己が醜さにおののくといい。
安心しろよ。てめえはそれよりさらにめちゃくちゃぐちゃぐちゃに生きながら醜く潰してやるからよ。
At that time, Genji softly entered the red barrier. Perhaps the barrier didn't block those without ill intent. Then Genji gently held her from behind and covered her eyes with his right hand.
源氏様、
もう十分だ。先に休みなさい。
はい、ありがとうございます、源氏様。
Huh? After that, Genji softly pressed his left hand near her collarbone. As he did, emanating from that area, a crimson stage gently spread out. So he killed Shannon? When Genji removed his hand, bright red flesh Fresh blood oozed out of there. It only happened for the first instant and it was shaped like a crimson rose. Never trusted Genji. And when he removed his right head covering her face, there was a peaceful expression there as though she was sleeping. Then she fell softly, silently, and slept. Her soul had already been sent to a world where the malicious witch and furniture could not reach her, no matter how evilly they tortured her. The scene left Beatrice and the seven sisters stunned. Only Ronave wore a mysterious smile. Then Kenji leaned over Cannon, who was crouching on the floor.
よく頑張った。お前ももう休むといい。
はい、ありがとうございます。ケンジ様。
Just as he had done with Shannon, he softly covered Cannon's eyes with his hand, then gently pressed the area around Cannon's collarbone with his other hand. And when his hand was removed with the lightness of a feather, there was a crimson rose there. That rose shape quickly turned into the stain of bright red blood pouring out.
何よそれ。
つまらぬやつ。生命の風船は針にてつき、威勢よく割るから面白いのだろうが。
見事です、源氏。それでこそ家具です。
ありがとうございます。それではベアトリーチェ様、ロノウェ様、これをもって私の最後のお務めとし、おいとま。
わらわの楽しみを勝手に奪いおって。この二人をギッタギタのぐっちゃぐちゃ、そなたがそれを変わるのであろうな。
Beatrice faced him with an unsatisfied expression, but Ronave spoke quietly to Genji with a soothing smile.
ご苦労でした。あなたは私の最高のしもべです。これまでの労をねぎらうに値する安らかな眠りをあなたへの。
おい、勝手な真似を。
When Ronave snapped his fingers, Genji slumped to the floor like a puppet with its strings cut. Suddenly and yet gently, he crumpled, falling into a sleep that no witch could call him back from. It was filled with kindness as the sleep he had given Shannon and Cannon.
なんだよ、ローネ。
Sorry.
拍子抜けでつまらぬぞ。
Let me go get some water, actually. Okay, sorry about that.
お嬢様は偉大なる大魔女ではございませんか。この程度気に留めるほどにもございませんよ。シャノンごときの挑発で頭に血を上らせるなどらしくもない。
What was it that had Beatrice so irritated? Was she still unable to remove the thorn of Shannon's words? Ronave laughed lightly, as though as though lamenting the complexity of humanity and a woman's heart, and ordered the seven sisters to go. After all, there were still 2 sacrifices left for the first twilight. The seven sisters disappeared in ecstasy. I think I'm actually gonna end here. Because I'm getting hungry, you know, the usual. But I had a lot of fun today. Well, I'll definitely play some more Umineko later. Um, and definitely want to continue with Skyrim. And I'm gonna look up the guide, or I'm gonna look up, yeah, the guide for Paper Mario to see where I was stuck, so that I will not get stuck again, and we can progress with that. Maybe play some Mario Sunshine or some Sonic. I mean, I have a bunch of games, honestly. Not just Nintendo games, I also have like other Steam games I have in mind, so look forward to that. And there's still more emotes being made in progress, so those will come eventually. Yeah, and thank you. I just want to say thank you for watching if you watched at any point. For a little or for a lot, I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a good day. Yeah, or if your day isn't too good, I hope it gets a little bit better. Um, yeah, and I'll see you guys next time.